Okay, you're supposed to use the square root method to solve. So starting with the one on the left, I'm going to add 36 to each side. Left with x squared equals 36. If I take the square root on each side, I have x is equal to positive and negative 6. Pretty simple. On the other one, I'll add 5 to each side. I have 20x squared equals 5. Divide 20 on each side. And then I have x squared on the left. That'll reduce down to 1/4 on the right. Then when I take the square root on each side, I don't have the squared anymore, so I need to erase that. Didn't mean to do that. I'm left with x is equal to, and then square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is 2, so I have 1 on top and a 2 on the bottom. On these ones, you're supposed to factor each expression. So for the first one, I'm looking for numbers that add together to give me 6, multiply to give me 8. So I'm thinking 2 and 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 plus 4 equals 6. So that works. And I'm left with x plus 2 times x plus 4. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that there for now. Erase this. Over here, I'm looking for numbers that add together give me negative 4. Multiply give me negative 32. My numbers should be negative 8 and 4, because negative 8 times 4 is 32. Or negative 32, I mean. And negative 8 plus 4 is equal to negative 4. So that works. So I have x minus 8 and then x plus 4. That's how that works. Go ahead and erase my little math on the side here. On this one, now I've got an a value greater than 1, so I got to do a little bit more to this one. So I'm looking for numbers that'll multiply, so I need their product to equal a times c, and I need their sum to equal b. So let's see, a times c is 24, so I need the product to equal 24. And then I need their sum to be 10. So two numbers that multiply and give me 24 and add up to give me 10. 6 times 4 is 24. And 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. So now I have my numbers. This one's different than the other ones though, so I have to rewrite it. I have a is greater than 1, so I have to rewrite my b terms as 6x and 4x based on 6 and 4 for these numbers. And then I bring down my plus 8, and I'll factor by grouping. I'm going to erase all this stuff that I have over here on the side. Took off a little bit of that x squared, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to factor by grouping. On the left side, I can factor a 3x out. And then I have, so 3x squared divided by 3x is just going to leave me with x. And then I have 6x divided by 3x is going to be 2. So I'm left with x plus 2 in the parentheses. Then on the other side, I can factor out a 4 from both of these. So I'm left with a positive 4, so plus 4. Factor that out, I'm left with x plus 2. So when I rewrite this, 3x plus 4, which comes from here and here. And since this matches up with this, I know I'm correct, and I'll multiply that with x plus 2. So that's my final answer here. That's the factored form. All right, so let's use this one to say, for argument's sake, I wanted to go backwards and double check my work. I could just write it out and multiply it out. So give me my marker back. I have 3x plus 4 times x plus 2. 3x times x is going to give me 3x squared. Then I have 3x times the 2, give me 6x. Then I have 4 times the x, gives me 4x. Then I have 4 times the 8, or 2, which gives me 8. If I can put all that together and combine like terms, 6x and 4x equals 10x plus 8. I can see that this matches this, so I know I am correct. Alright, so let's get rid of all that. Pause it if you need to, but we'll get rid of all that. Just write all that out, and I'll go ahead and just write the answer up here. So it's 3x plus 4 and x plus 2. Go ahead and finish erasing all that now. Alright, now let's move on to the next one. Now on this one I'm looking for two numbers that'll add together to give me negative 15, but multiply to give me positive 56. If I use negative 8 and negative 7, that'll give me positive 56. Negative 8 plus a negative 7 will give me negative 15. So that checks out because negative 15 matches up with my B. The positive 56 matches up to my C because my A value is 1. I don't have to worry about that. 1 times 56 is still 56. So all I have to do is just rewrite it. X minus 8 times x minus 7. So that should be your answers for this. Just go ahead and erase this so you see that's the answers we're left with for that whole section. Now we're going to solve by factoring. On this one, I'm just going to factor out the greatest common factor. In this case, it's x, so I'm just going to factor out x, and I'll have x minus 9 in parentheses. Alright, so my answer is going to be x equals 0, because if this is 0, then the whole thing ends up being 0, because 0 times everything is 0. Then the other answer is positive 9, because if 9 was here, 9 minus 9 is 0, makes the whole thing equal 0, right? I could have also just set each section equal to 0, in which case x would just be set equal to 0, that's all that matters. And then on the other one, if I set up x minus 9 equals 0, add 9 to each side, and x equal to 9. So they both check out. On this one, we're looking at two numbers that'll add together to give me 11, multiply to give me 30. So I'm going to say 6 times 5 is 30, and 6 plus 5 is 11, so that works. And I'll have x plus 5 times x plus 6 equals 0, so x will equal negative 5 and also negative 6, because it's just the opposite of whatever I have here. Negative 5 in here makes it negative 5 plus 5 is 0. 0 times everything is 0. And negative 6 times, if I put negative 6 in for x, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. 0 times everything else is still 0. Alright, like we talked about in class, if it says, hey, which equation has these solutions, which you will have one like that, you can factor all these out individually and see which ones give you those answers, or you can plug those answers back in. So in this one, I already know that the answer is D. So if I was going to check that out, just plug it in. So if I say x equals 1, and I plug it into D, I'll say, well, 1 squared plus 7 times 1 minus 8 equals 0. See if it works. 1 squared is 1. 7 times 1 is 7 minus 8. Yeah, 1 plus 7 minus 8 is 0. 0 equals 0, so we're good to go. Then on the other one, I can say, okay, well, if x equals negative 8, then I can say, well, negative 8 squared minus 7, or plus, 7 times negative 8 minus 8 equals 0. Then negative 8 squared is 64. If I add that to a negative 56, and then subtract 8 again, Yeah, you end up with 64 minus 64, which is 0. So that works. All right, so on these quadratic formula, remember, just like any of them, you got to set them equal to 0 first. So this negative 12 needs to get over here. So I got canceled off the right side by adding 12 on each side. And I have x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. So I'm going to set my A and B and C. So A is 1, B is negative 7, and C is equal to 12. So if I plug these in, x is equal to negative and negative 7. That's supposed to be 7. Negative 7 plus and minus the square root of negative 7. Sorry. Negative 7 squared minus 4 times A times C. It's all over 2 times my A value, which is 1. Alright, so whenever I go through and do this part, negative 7 is positive 7, plus or minus the square root of negative 7 squared is 49. 4 times 1 times 12 is 48. It's all over 2. So x is equal to 7 plus and minus the square root of 1, which will just end up being 1. That's all over 2. So I have to split it up now. I have x is equal to 7 plus 1 over 2. I also have 7 minus 1 over 2. So 7 plus 1 over 2 is 8 over 2, which is equal to 4. And then I have 6 over 2, which is equal to 3. Alright, so my answers here should be 4 and 3. So let me go ahead, give me some room to write this in there. X is equal to 3 and 4. Sorry for my ugly brace. Alright, for the other one, like I said, A, B, and C, it's already set equal to 0. Like I said, A, B, and C here. Have A is equal to 2, B is equal to negative 7, and C is equal to negative 15. If I plug it all in, so it'll look like this after it's plugged in. And then the next thing we're going to do is get rid of these and go ahead and work out the discriminant and do the 2 times 2 part. Okay, so after combining all that, this is what we're left with. The discriminant comes out to 49 minus the negative 120. All right, so now I've got square root of 169 here. We'll take that square root. It'll come out to 13. All right, so now with this, accidentally got a lightsaber, but it's okay. Square root of 169 gave us 13. So I got the plus and negative version of this, and I'll split them up. So when I split them, I'm left with, sorry, let me get over here to my little laser pointer. I've got 7 plus 13 over 4 and 7 minus 13 over 4. 7 plus 13 is 20 over 4 will equal 5. Then I have 7 minus 13 over 4. 7 minus 13 is going to give me negative 6. That's over 4, and that's going to reduce to negative 3 over 2. So my answers are, let's see, sorry, didn't mean to do all that. Try to make sure you can see everything. I have x is equal to 5, and then x is also equal to negative 3 over 2. Okay, so we've done these enough that you should know. Just type them all in on your calculator and hit enter. No sense in going through any of the rest of that. Just type it in on your calculator. And if you type all those in the calculator, this is what you should come up with. Okay, as we talked about this one in class, you're looking first at the vertex. I've got negative 2, negative 6. So in vertex form, I should be looking at a plus 2 and a negative 6 because the x, you always do the opposite. So how this one's got a plus 2 and a negative 6, and this one has a plus 2 and a negative 6. Obviously, one of these would be our answer, and on this one, as we talked about in class, I accidentally made them both the same. So both of those are actually the answer. A or B, either one will work. So that one or that one. My bad. Okay, on this one, again, I got another multiple choice here. I've got a -6 and a +3, so my vertex should be at +6, +3. So the only ones at 6, 3 would be here, right? This is the only one be at +6, +3. And then this 5 means that from one box over to the right or one box over to the left from the vertex, yeah, your parabola is going to go up 5.